Alright everybody, it's time for a top 10 video. I put out a poll a couple days ago and 50% of the votes went to top 10 remakes. These will be my personal favorites, of course, and my top 10 picks will be movies that I've seen the original for as well. So that's really my rule, was that the top 10 I had to know were damn good remakes and were as good, if not better, than the original. So if I haven't seen the original, it's going to be more of an honorable mention. So I'm giving you 10 plus 5 honorable mentions. And I will be trying to do more ranking videos in the future, maybe once every 2 weeks or so, maybe once a week. I'll try, but not making any promises I can't keep. So, number 5 of my honorable mentions will be the Dawn of the Dead remake by Zack Snyder. This is probably my favorite zombie movie, especially when it comes to serious zombie movies, because the genre is basically split into two. You got the comedy zombie movies, and then you got the serious ones. And this is a damn good serious zombie movie. It's very gritty and grainy looking. It just hits the ground running. It starts with a bang, cars crashing into people and gas stations blowing up. I love the setting idea, which I heard was in the original by Romero. I haven't seen it, unfortunately. It's hard to get it around. I can't find it anywhere. But it's got a great cast. You got Ving Rhames. It's just a fun, brutal movie, and I just love it. It's got a dark ending. It's one of the best zombie movies ever made, and probably one of the best remakes ever made, but I still need to see that original. So, number 5 for honorable mentions will be Dawn of the Dead. Next up is the Carrie remake with Chloe Grace Moretz. I think this is underappreciated in my opinion. Everybody loves that original because it's from Brian De Palma. You can't beat the original Stephen King classic, but I think this one does what that movie does just slightly better in my opinion. It's got better performances. I love Chloe Grace Moretz. I have like a crush on her. She's one of my Hollywood crushes. I think Julianne Moore gives a damn good performance, and I think because of the time that we live in now, our technology, this movie was able to pull off that third act a little bit better than the original. Call it blasphemy, call it whatever you want, but I think this one just does it a little better. Sure, it's not taking a different spin on it, it's not doing anything different, it's just the same movie with modern technology used to make it, and slightly better performances, in my opinion. My third honorable mention will be The Last House on the Left. I just saw the original for this a few months back. Wes Craven directed that one, early 70s movie, very disturbing, and this one does it even more graphic. Like that rape scene, I think, is even longer and just more drawn out. They really make you hate these people. And you got Tony Goldwyn as the father, and that microwave kill at the end is fantastic. Same movie, doesn't do too much different. It's just a little bit more violent and gory. My fourth honorable mention will be The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I like the concept of this movie. What they did was they took the original movie and made it a movie within this movie. Like they're at the drive-in, they're watching the original 77 version, which is a movie that's based on true events. And those true events are like legit true events in this movie too. So it's a very interesting concept. They make it to where there's more than one killer. I won't say who it is, but there's multiple killers. It's kind of like Scream. I don't want to give too many spoilers in this ranking, but just know that there might be spoilers. All right, these are older movies, so it's to be expected. My fifth and final honorable mention will be the Fright Night remake. What this one does a little bit better than the original is just the cast. The cast in this movie, you got Toni Collette, you got Colin Farrell, you got Imogen Poots, you got Anton Yelchin, who passed away a few years ago. Just a great cast. It's very funny. You got the kid from Superbad. It's the same movie except just CGI in some spots that doesn't look that good. It's 3D. I don't have the 3D version, but it's very smart and funny. It's just not a dull moment. I really enjoyed the cast and the humor in it, and I think Colin Farrell does a damn good job playing Jerry. Is that the vampire's name? Is he better than Chris Sarandon? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. All right, now we're at the top 10. Number 10 is the Crazies remake, the remake of the original by George Romero. This has Timothy Olyphant and Radha Mitchell. I hope I'm saying those names right. Otherwise, it's an incomplete remake ranking. I had some dumb commenter recently say that because I mispronounced the name, therefore the entire review was lame and incomplete. So I hope I said those names right. Otherwise, this is incomplete, right? Dumbasses out there. Oh my gosh. We have to deal with trolls as YouTubers, and sometimes they make no fucking sense. But whatever. Number 10, The Crazies. This is very intense throughout. I just love Timothy Olyphant as an actor. I love him in almost everything he's in. Scream 2, Live Free, and Die Hard. He plays a badass villain in that movie, and he really carries this film on his shoulders. He's a great lead to follow, and it's just got all these dark moments in it. It takes itself very serious. It's a very good quarantine virus movie that I don't hear get talked about enough. So number 10, The Crazies, definitely check it out, especially during these crazy times. It's very relevant. Number 9 goes to the Silent Night remake. This is sort of a remake. It does a different approach where you follow the cop in town, played by Jamie King, who was in the My Bloody Valentine remake and the Mother's Day remake. So she's a remake scream queen at this point. And you got Malcolm McDowell, Dowell or whatever, from the Halloween remake. And this movie does this movie right here a little bit different, where we focus on the police, and you got this silent killer going around. He doesn't even say punish, but I like that he's wearing a mask this time, so they tweak things. It's not the same movie done again, and we don't want that. I think a good remake does what the original does, but tweaks some things, changes things up a bit, and just does things better, and maybe adds a couple of new ideas. You don't want to see a shot-for-shot remake like Psycho. This takes the core elements from Silent Night, Deadly Night, a killer Santa, and that's really all we need from that original. It's got some gory ass inventive kills, hardly any CGI. There's little winks to the original, like the crazy grandpa, the antler kill, and like I said, I love the mask edition and the flamethrower that he has as a weapon. They give him a whole different background. They don't focus on his childhood at all in this movie like they do in the original. We just find out towards the very end. They just like throw it in like quick exposition, like, oh, he had a crazy dad and who killed his mom, and he saw it. So he wanted to be a crazy Santa just like his dad. So it's just very quick at the end. Doesn't really focus on it. It's not really important. It's just killer Santa kills a child. It goes there. You got characters that you just want to see die, like the creepy pastor in town who's looking at women. And there's porn stars. There's a chick from Death House in this movie. It's just very violent and gory, and a fun movie to revisit every Christmas.
Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year.
Number 8 will go to the Friday the 13th remake, which I am currently reviewing that series. I just did Jason X, so check out all those reviews. What I love about this movie and what puts it on the list is not Kane, almost slipped up there, not Kane, Derek Mears as Jason Voorhees. I got King Hodder on my brain because I was just talking about 4 movies that he was in, those 4 Jason movies. But yeah, Derek Mears, awesome, top 3 easily. Performances of Jason. It's got great cinematography, great direction by Marcus Dispel, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which you might see on this list later on, and just a very fun throwback to 80s simple template, teenagers at a cabin in the woods getting picked off one by one, just callback. It's got that template done to the T. They dot all the I's, they cross all the T's, they give you what you want, but yet still, when this movie came out, everybody shit on it like it was just dog shit and it was trash. It's like, no, it's the same thing that you were asking for, but you just can't please everybody. They do change some things in this movie compared to the original Jason. Like, this one has underground tunnels, which I'm okay with. He kidnaps this girl because she looks like his mom, which makes sense to me given what Jenny does in part 2. I like Jared Padalecki's character in this movie. I think it's got some of the most nudity and most gorgeous women of the franchise. I went to see this at the theaters when I was like 14 with my dad. Very uncomfortable to see all this gratuitous nudity on the screen with him, so I'll always remember that. But yeah, just a damn good violent slasher movie that doesn't get appreciated enough because Jason runs. He's always run, dumbasses, in parts 2, 3, and 4. Get over it. Number 7 will go to Sorority Row. This is a remake, sort of. They changed things quite a bit. It's not the same exact movie. It's the remake of The House on Sorority Row. And in this movie, you don't have that house mother who gets killed in a dumbass prank, and then there's the son who's like hiding in the attic, who's been like hidden for years to avenge the mother's death. It's not that at all. We got a prank gone wrong though in the opening where a teenager gets killed during this again stupid prank. And then there's a mystery killer out there. You don't know who it is, but he's got this pimped ass weapon. He's got a tire iron, but it's got like a Bowie knife on one end. There's a little spike on the other, rope to one where you can like throw it and just like reel it. It's like a boomerang thing. It's just an awesome weapon. It's like top 5 best horror weapons ever. And this movie, like other slashers, checks the right boxes. You got beautiful women, some nudity. It's got some good humor throughout, and some bitchy characters that you just want to see die. And when they do die, it's very cathartic. But yeah, I just don't hear this one get praised enough, so I had to put it on the list. I think it's way better than the original. The original was really lacking in the kills, in the gore. This one ups it. I love the killer outfit and his weapon, and just overall a fun movie. So if you haven't seen the remake, check it out. It's almost a different movie completely than the original. They just keep the sorority house aspect and the prank gone wrong. You are my buddy until the end. Child's Play remake. I would not have expected this to make a top 10 when I went to go see it. I thought it was just going to be fine, but I loved it. It's the best looking Child's Play of the franchise. I love the new spin on the story. They took the voodoo thing out and did like a little Terminator basically. He gets programmed to where his safety parameters are off. He can cuss, he can kill, he learns and adapts, studies his environment, and wants to protect Andy. That's a whole different story. So that's why I love this movie. It just didn't do the same thing, which I guess is what everybody wanted. And that's why everybody's bitching about this movie. Like it's the worst piece of trash remake out there. I don't get it. I think Mark Hamill does a good job playing Chucky. I like the voice he gives to the doll. The only thing I don't like about this movie, and it's probably the one thing that everybody else hates and just can't look past, is the look of the doll. But there's moments here and there where it looks fine, like when they keep him in the shadows, when his eyes start glowing red. Looks good. But then there's other moments where he has like a derpy face and you just can't take it serious. Like, is that supposed to be scary? He just looks silly. The look of the doll is definitely bad, but that's something they can easily fix in the next movie when they make like a Buddy 3 doll or 4. They always, like an iPhone, it'll make the next number version of it and it'll look better, you know? So just ease up on the movie. Yeah, the doll looks like shit, but it's got great kills, great cinematography. It looks beautiful. I love the Christmas light scene. It's just good visuals in the movie, some funny lines. It's very humorous. I love the new Mike we get, Detective Mike. And they have little callbacks to the original movies, like, this is the end, friend, at the end. But I love this new spin on the story where you got Chucky protecting Andy instead of trying to chase his ass down throughout the movie. It's reversed. I like that. I love that 15-minute section of the movie where we get to see them bond and become friends. It's heartbreaking. Like, I almost wanted to cry when I watched this movie at the theater. I was just like, oh my god, I feel sorry for Chucky. You've never felt sorry for Chucky in the other 7 movies. This is the only time. And if we're being honest, this is the better acted movie. Like in the original, Andy Barclay was not a good child actor. I mean, that's not his real name, Alex Vincent. But this Andy Barclay, he's a little bit older. He's definitely more, well, of a seasoned actor. Aubrey Plaza does a good job. She's weird and gorgeous. I just love this movie. I've seen it more times than I'm willing to admit already. Love it. So, number 6 is the Child's Play remake. Hate on me all you want, but it is a fun horror comedy slasher that just gets way too much hate.
Good night, Andy.
Number 5 goes to the best 3D horror movie ever made, and that is My Bloody Valentine by Patrick Lussier, the editor of all those Scream movies, and written by Todd Farmer, who wrote Jason X. What this movie does better than the original is the kills, simply. And I think the cast is great. You got Kerr Smith from Final Destination, and you got Jamie King from the Silent Night remake and Mother's Day remake. You got the guy from Supernatural. He's got a hard name to say, Jensen Ackles, something like that. And it's just very brutal. I love all the creative kills in this movie. You got Tom Atkins in here, so that's a plus. Some of the greatest kills ever put to screen. The shovel kill, the jaw getting ripped off, fantastic. I love the killer outfit in this movie. I love that they changed the killer in this movie. It's a whodunit, and I think the mystery is very intriguing. You're constantly guessing. You got gratuitous nudity. You got like a 5-minute scene where a chick is running around butt ass naked, and even Todd Farmer as a cameo. He's the trucker. But the kills are the only thing really that's better than the original. The characters in that one are probably a little bit better. They're not better acted really, but I think they're a little bit more charming. They're more authentic. In this one, there's not that group of young kids hanging out and partying. That's in the opening, but then throughout, it's much more serious. You got like this affair going on that really doesn't get brought up at the end. Like the pregnant chick that he's cheating on his wife with gets killed, so it's like that's taken care of for him. He never has to like deal with that mess no more. Like, thanks, killer, you saved me. I just like the kills more in this one, so the kills simply put this on this list. I like all the cast in this movie and the gore. That's really all I look for in a slasher movie is the gore, the kills, gratuitous nudity. This checks all those right boxes for a slasher. Damn good remake, and if you can see it in the actual 3D, makes it even better. Number 4 goes to The Hills Have Eyes. This is far superior than the original to me. I mean, sorry, but that Wes Craven original, it's just awful. Those characters, the acting, the bad guys in that movie, it's not scary to me at all. I'm not sure if it's trying to be. It's not funny, so if they're trying to be funny, it just fails on all cylinders. This one's firing all cylinders. The characters in this movie, the family, they're dynamic together. They feel real. Feels like an actual family on screen, fighting and bickering. You got Ted Levine. You got mutated bad guys in this one. They're way more ugly and more disturbing in this one. Great effects. It's very intense with the guy in the refrigerator with all the body parts, the nuclear town, the set design. The opening song is creepy to me. It has one of the best head explosions. This one is just intense and very violent compared to that original. That trailer scene, one of the most intense, terrifying scenes ever put to film. My number 3 goes to a remake that a lot of people, I think, can agree is an awesome remake. It probably started the remake craze and trend where every movie after this was getting remade every single year, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Marcus Nispel, who did the Friday the 13th remake. This one has the best iteration of Leatherface. He's very big and hulking and massive. He is so damn scary. I think this is the best Leatherface easily. You got the sheriff in this movie, played by Arlie Ermy, Sheriff Hoyt. He's just as scary and intimidating as Leatherface because he's a cop to these people. So what do? It's a lose-lose situation. It's just a terrifying movie from beginning to end. It's very sweaty and hot looking. The cinematography, it makes you feel like you are in Texas. And I can't not mention Jessica Biel's iconic outfit and her ass, that shot. It deserves to be on a plaque on the wall, her outfit. Number 2 goes to Frank Calhoun's Maniac, written by Alexander Raja, who directed the Hills Have Eyes remake. This has Elijah Wood, and it's all POV. This needs to be done more. I want to see more of this. This has K&B effects, some of the most realistic, hyper-realistic looking gore ever put to film. The scalpings are fantastic. The ending, when the guy's getting his face ripped apart, is so damn jaw-dropping. The nudity, the women in this movie look fantastic. They're stunning. The main chick in this movie, the French girl, she is absolutely gorgeous. So the women are absolutely wonderful. The gore, the POV style to the movie is done awesome. A great idea. Very creative, very artsy of a film. Very disturbing. It just puts you in the mindset and shoes of this killer who's portrayed wonderfully by Elijah Wood. I just love the score of this movie. It's very hard to take in. This isn't like a fun movie to rewatch all the time because the material and what's on screen. It's not a fun movie, but man, is it a great watch. If you haven't seen it, it is a shocking, great remake that needs to be on your list. Check out the Maniac remake. I think it's way better than the original. I know, call me crazy. Number 1 goes to Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead. This is what I want in a horror movie. This is my favorite of the franchise. I think it's way better than the other three. It's a breath of fresh air. They took the serious approach. It's something different. All the other three were very comedic. The first one, a little comedic, but the second and third one were just slapstick, Three Stooges like comedy. This is what I want from an Evil Dead movie. It's very bloody, gallons and gallons of blood spraying out of limbs from the skies. It's very fucking like heavy metal. You could play heavy metal music during this film and it would fit perfect. When that chick's coming out of the ground, the rain, the blood rain, everything, chainsaws being shoved into people's faces, the blood in this movie. It's so damn gory. It's so disturbing and dark and just absolutely beautiful looking. The cinematography. I think Jane Levy is fantastic as Mia in this movie, and I like the story angle they went with where she's a recovering addict. She's quitting heroin, and when she starts seeing the shit happen in the woods, when she's getting like raped by the trees, which is a great callback to the first one, and she's telling everybody like there's something in these woods. They just think she's on, they think that maybe she's taking drugs again or she's starting to have these hallucinations. It makes sense why they're staying there as opposed to the original where when crazy shit happens, you're like, why are they still there? Just leave. I love the angle they took on this one and the characters in it. You got one dumbass character who like reads the books, like reading the words that say, do not read. He's like, fuck you, I'm going to read you anyway. So that's like the only negative in the movie for me. It's just that character when he does that. It's like, why is he reading that? Is he being forced? Some supernatural thing is like taking over him? I don't get that scene at all. When something says don't read, and it's in a book written in blood, and the book is made of human flesh, don't read it. But other than that, I think this movie is a freaking masterpiece. Both of my top two, hell, I would say maybe even Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a masterpiece. Top three movies I think are masterpieces, especially in their franchises, the best. So that's my number one. What is your top 10 horror remakes? Put them all in the comments below. Let's talk about them. And if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button, share with all your friends, and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.